Thank you, Sandy. Okay, we're going to start right away with questions unless you prefer remarks. Sandy, we're going to start right away with Jeff in the center.
Right, Jeff Metcalf, Arizona Republic. You could kind of see the fatigue and then, the second quarter and whatnot. And then it just seemed like they got their offense going, they got their balanced scoring and all that. And there wasn't kind of enough, I don't know, energy to overcome that in the second half. Is that a bit of what you saw? Or?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, don't want to make excuses, but we were fatigued. I understand that. I mean, the second quarter, we lost by 3 in the second half, but we didn't, if you don't physically tired, but then when you get mentally tired, the execution really wasn't there where we needed it to be at both ends of the floor. And, so the most important thing for us is that we got to, freshen up these next few days. That's actually good that we don't play again till Wednesday. We can regroup, watch the video and play a better game on Wednesday.
Sandy's next question, front row to the left.
Alex Simon from the Next. Obviously, you wouldn't have Kia or Sophie today in particular, and it felt like, I'm sure Copper may have been the player who scared you the most. For her to attack from that small forward position, just what can you say about her performance, and then kind of what you hope Sophie coming back and being able to play Wednesday can help you guys with it and adjusting to her?
Yeah, look, I think they're a really well-balanced team. I mean, they have a great point guard, they have a shooter in Quigley, and you got Copper, who's I thought was going to be the key to the game and really was. But, the post players, I thought Stephanie Dolson did a great job coming off the bench, and she really hurt us. But, Copper, I mean, she's had a great playoffs, and, we emphasised her a fair bit in our pre-game talk. And, she got in positions where, it was just, she made some shots too. We weren't, the team defense wasn't exactly where we needed it to be. And obviously her offensive rebound hurt us as well. So, we have to, regroup, and Sophie coming back, that certainly it gives us another body, to be able to try a different option on her.
Sandy, to your left in the second row.
Brendan Clean Dime. Sandy, what's different about how Chicago and their bigs defended BG versus what you saw against Vegas in the last series?
Vegas trapped her in the first few games, and then they went single coverage in the last 2 and just surprise trapped her at different times. Vegas, Chicago, the post players, they'll bring in traps, they'll pre-rotating before we even got the ball in there, that we're, leaving our 4 men open, and we didn't quite exploit that as well as we should have. But, that's areas that we know we can work on with a little bit fresher mentally, because it's a coverage we've seen multiple times this year. It's not a new thing for us, but, they're aggressive in their hard hedging. Their activity disrupted us a little bit. And, but, things we wanted to do, we couldn't quite get through. Like I said, it's when you're tired, it's like the brain goes a bit dead and you're just trying to survive out there. But like I did like the second half, at least we competed a little bit more. We tried. It wasn't always pretty, but we tried.
Sandy, next question, front row to your right. And then everybody, we're going to go to Zoom. Michelle Smith, you're on deck.
Hey, Sandy, Kareem Copeland from the Washington Post. I want to ask a little bit more about that second quarter. Offense kind of fell out. Shots weren't falling. Did they do something a little bit differently on defense, or is that kind of what you mean by, tired legs, all of a sudden shots don't go down?
No, they didn't do anything differently. I mean, it was just us, a little bit raw rushed. We turned the ball over way too much, and we allowed them to get easy baskets in transition. And, they just went to another level, and we couldn't sustain where we were at. We kind of went down. We kind of, lost our way a little bit with, some of the stuff, setting a step up on the side when that's not what we wanted against someone that's going to be really aggressive on Diana, and not shortening passes, little things. Like I said, this is just a little fatigued, and we had some decent looks. But, the big 3 are going to get a lot of attention. We know that. The others have to be ready to step up and be aggressive and make shots as well.
Next question is going to come from Michelle Smith. Michelle, you're going to be followed by Maggie Hendricks. Michelle, go ahead.
Sandy, how much was their pace impacting you guys? Obviously, with you guys being fatigued, and they knew that, and you knew that they were going to try and play fast. But how much was their pace a factor in this game?
A big factor. This is how Chicago plays. And we said the biggest key of the game was, trying to make them a half-court team. But, that starts with having good execution on the offensive end and hopefully taking it through the net. And didn't quite happen today. And, they put us on our heels. So, I mean, that's tiring when you got to chase a team like this, is a little fresher than us to get out and run. So, like I said, we got 2 days. We've got to freshen up body and mind.
Next question will come from Maggie Hendricks. Maggie, you'll be followed by Chantel Jennings. Then we'll return to the room for one final question. Maggie, go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, Sandy. You just said about how you need to refresh. What exactly is the team going to be doing in the next 24, 48 hours to kind of find your legs again?
Yeah, they just need to, tomorrow's off. There's no need coming in. It's been of a grind. The playoffs have been going back to back. We played that extra game, obviously very emotional game on Friday night. So we'll be off tomorrow. We just got to freshen up. That's what it is. We've been in these situations before, and then we got to come out. This is a team that's playing extremely well. We got to prepare for them. We'll go on a practice on Tuesday, all be light because we want to keep their legs fresh. Watching video, go out in the court and just execute some areas that we need to be better at.
Chantel Jennings, go ahead.
Sandy, thanks for your time today. Chantel Jennings with The Athletic. I think this is the Chicago team that a lot of us expected to see. But like 6 double-digit scores is obviously something that's really hard to prepare for. I'm just curious, when their offense is functioning in that flow and they're firing on all cylinders, how hard are they to slow down or even stop?
Yeah, very hard. I think a lot of people picked Chicago to win, at the start of the year, just with the players that they had. And, they found the chemistry at the right time. That's what it's all about in these seasons. And they're hard to guard. One player could have a quiet night and the other one steps up. They've got, DeShields too. Obviously, she's a pretty good player. And she was 0 tonight, which is unlike her. But, 6 players in double figures, it certainly makes it hard when you're putting a, plan in place to try and, limit their effectiveness. But credit to them, they do a great job of moving and playing together, which makes it obviously hard especially when you're a little bit fatigued.
Next question, Sandy, second row to your right.
James K, Chicago Tribune. Sandy, I believe there was only 8 points from your bench unit tonight or for today. Do you feel like you need more from your second unit in order to make this a series?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we need, our starters have carried us all season long, but, we've got Sophie Cunningham coming back. Obviously, Kia Nurse out. That's a big loss for us, trying to cover her, because she could have done a pretty good job on Copper out there, I think, and, those athletic players. But, at least we get Sophie coming back, and it gives us another option, just with energy, her activity, and her ability to make shots. So that will give us something, but it's not one person that needs to step up. It's all of us, and we'll be better prepared for the next game.
All right, we have time for just one more question. As Coach Wade is on his way, we're going to go to Hugh Hopkins. Hugh, go ahead.
Hi, Sandy. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us tonight. You spoke about Steph Dolson's impact. I was wondering, like, the Sky. People say they don't really have a true big like you guys have Griner, but they do have a lot of depth at that position. I was wondering how much the depth sort of played an impact in they didn't really limit Griner. Griner had a great game, but how difficult was it for her throughout today's game, do you think?
Yeah, no, it's tough. I mean, they start with Candace and they bring in traps, and then you have, Steph coming in, and she's a big body and can be a little bit more disruptive and push her out of the paint a little bit more. And the good thing about what Steph helps them is her shooting ability from the perimeter. There's times when we should have been switching it and she's got wide open looks, and then it's about makes and misses. And she's also a post player that sets really good screens. Some of them not sure if they're really all illegal. But she's also a great passer too. So, I mean, that was hard. They had other players that could come off the bench, and, Kia Vaughn, that was her first being in the finals in 13 years. So maybe a little bit of anxiousness there. And we have a lot of faith in Kia Vaughn coming off the bench here. And, we know that we'll be better in the next game.
Thanks for that. And just a very brief follow-up. I mean, it's 2014. You guys met before. What's the chat around the team? There's only a few players who were around back then, but is there any sort of like, we've done this before, we can do it again? I know it was quite a long time ago now, though.
Yeah. No, look, obviously, different decade. But obviously that was a special team. Only Diana and BG are from that team. But look, for us, they're talking. I said, just freshen up. It's a long series. We've just won a best of 5, and our only focus is on the next game and making sure that we can tidy out some of the areas that we know it's all the 1%ers really in the end, take care of the ball and making sure we block it out and we can make a few shots and just make them move a little bit and exploit their defense. We should be in good shape.
Sandy, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
To our media, stay with us. We'll have Coach James Wade in just a moment. Once again, for anybody joining us late, James will be followed by Phoenix players Diana Taurasi, Brianna Turner, Brittany Griner, and Chicago players Kalia Copper, Candace Parkner, and Allie Quigley. Thank you, James. We're going to begin right away with questions in the room. We're going to start front row to your left.
Hey, Coach. Annie Constable from the Sun-Times. It seemed like in the first quarter, you guys needed him to get settled in, but then, responded in the second and never let up. Was that just the team needing to settle into this final series, or how would you describe that?
I mean, it's been a long time since the organization has been here, and even the players. I think, the last person to play in the finals was Candace, and she was probably the most settled. So I just chalked it up to pregame jitters and pre-final jitters, I guess. But they're a good team, so I don't want to take anything away from them. So they attacked us the way they wanted to attack us, and I don't know if we were 100% ready for it at the time. So hopefully we won't have those issues, and we've got our feet up under us, and we have a game under our belt. So hopefully we can be a little bit more consistent starting the game.
James, to your right in the second row.
Hey, Ben Pickman, Sports Illustrated. How much of a factor do you think Phoenix's fatigue was in that second quarter run that you went on and through the rest of the game?
I don't know. I wish I could answer that. I just, when it comes to those things, I just worry about us. So it's the finals. I don't think you can really consider that stuff.
James, front row to your right.
Coach Wade, can you talk a little bit about Stephanie Dolson? She didn't play as much the last 2 games, but obviously today was really effective.
So I told her during the last series, I said it, I told her, I was like, it doesn't matter who we play. You're going to be big for us the next series. So I need for you to be locked in. And I said, I told her also that, sometimes coaches don't get it right. And what we thought was better matchups in the last series against Connecticut. We knew that we were going to think a different matchup going into this series, whether it been Las Vegas or Phoenix. And so that's why we needed her locked in, and we had that conversation, and she assured me that she would be. So we're gonna need her to be big for us this series. And that's how coaches are. Maybe she would have been big for us last series, but I trusted other matchups better, and that was just a judgment call. But we knew for sure coming into this series, no matter who we play, like I said, we were gonna need her to be big for us.
All right, we have 3 more questions from the room before we turn to Zoom. James, second row on your left.
Hey, James, Brendan Clean with Dime. Curious with Diana getting the tech and just some of the chippiness that ensued over the course of the game, or is that something just as a coach that you have a message to your players for? Do you allow them to handle that because they're the ones out there kind of feeling it out? What do you do to just get through those moments where there's some tension?
No, my thing is just stay focused. Diamond is Diana is a great player, and we know she doesn't need a lot to get going. So we just want to stay focused and stay on our objective and our goals, and just make sure that we try to stay as solid defensively so she doesn't get going the way she can get going. So I don't really have, it's just about us keeping our composure. We know that, she, like I said, she's great. And we just have to make sure we execute defensively so she doesn't get going.
James, second row to your right.
James K, Chicago Tribune. Coach, this team throughout the entire postseason has really stopped opponents from really getting into a groove and getting anytime there's momentum, you find a way to stop them, and you're able to carry on in the postseason. You're 6-1 now. Just how important is it, one, to get game 1 just along that similar theme of being able to, stop opponents from gaining that momentum.
I think every game you win is important. So getting the first win, it automatically gives you home court advantage. And right now, you never know how the games go, but who would have thought, you talk about this 2.5 weeks ago, that we'll have home court advantage in the finals. So they're locked in, they're focused, they're concentrated. And our coaches, like I said, they give a great job of not only scouting the game plan and understanding what makes our players go, but they also do a great job of teaching it and making it easier for the players to actually execute it. And so like, I think they're doing a great job of that. And the players are doing a great job following. And so you see this great chemistry between the coaching staff and training staff and the players. So it's been great to watch.
James, one more question from within the room, front and center.
Hey, I'm Jose Romero from the Arizona Republic. What makes Sandy Brandella was just in here talking about how Kalia was a difficult matchup for them and how they were kind of keen on her as a key. And what do you think makes her a difficult matchup for opponents?
Her speed, her athleticism, and her tenacity. Those are three things that really, make her a hard matchup, but also her talent. She's a high-level player, and now I think as the finals goes on, people are gonna start paying attention to her, and I think people will notice what we know.
Okay, our first question from Zoom will come from Allison Moran. Allison, you'll be followed by Michelle Smith. Allison?
Thank you. Congratulations, Coach, first of all, on the win. Always tough to get the first one. But Sandy did talk quite a bit in her side of the press conference about the fatigue, the emotionalism of the Friday game against the Las Vegas Aces. And they need a couple of days to freshen up, and then they're going to be coming back out full force. How do you combat that?
We just got to be ready. We know that they're going to be better prepared and they're going to be more motivated, especially going down a game. Sandy is, one of, if not the best coach in this league. So I know she's going to have them ready. She's really good at adjusting and making, just adapting to different situations. So I know they'll be ready. They have Diana, they have BG, they have Skylar, and they have the rest of those players. So we just have to make sure that we're not satisfied with winning the first game. We want to come with the same rigor and aggressiveness that we came out with this game and just try to do our best. That's the only thing that we can do, and not make some of the mistakes we made early on. And we had some lulls early in the fourth quarter too that we want to clean up. So we have a lot to take from and learn from this game. Even though it was a good game from us, we have some stuff to clean up, and we'll do our best to try and do that.
Michelle Smith, you're next, and you're going to be followed by Maggie Hendricks. Michelle, go ahead.
Coach Wade, did you play the pace that you wanted to play today? And how much do you think your pace impacted the final result of this game?
I think we didn't early. I think as the game went on and you saw us start to settle a little bit, I think we got into the pace that we wanted to get into, but it took us a while. And once we got into that pace, we felt pretty comfortable there. We made a couple of mental mistakes as a team that we have to clean up on, but all in all, I think for the most part, we had a good time, it was a good effort on our part to get to the pace that we wanted to play to.
Next will be Maggie, and you'll be followed by Hugh Hopkins. Hugh, if we have time, we will get to you. Maggie, go ahead.
Thanks. James, I'm wondering if you can comment on how your overall bench contributed today.
We want more. They'll be better next game. I think it was a little finals jitters for them too. Steph was really good for us. And that's what we needed from her. She had a great game, but like we said, we knew we were going to depend on her a certain amount, and she came through. Now it's just about building that consistency and getting it going. We'll look at some things with our team tomorrow and try to make sure that our bench is in the rhythm. So it's important for us that they are.
Okay, this will be our last question for James as our Phoenix players are on the way. Hugh Hopkins, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
We saw a lot of clips of Candace Parker talking to a number of different players on the game feed, a number of her teammates. I wondered, what's the conversation that you had with Candace Parker right at the start of the year about being a leader, and how has that progressed throughout the year to the point where you've reached the finals now and, obviously got game one in the bag?
I mean, it was important when she came. We talked about her coming in, and she was like, I want to fit in with the team and just share my experiences and stuff like that. And, a big thing coming from me was we needed her to lead. It was a player that we were missing. We weren't just missing her talent, but we were missing everything that comes with it, the experience, the big time plays and big moments, the having that cool shoulder and just being someone to lean on in difficult times. And so she's accepted that role, and now everybody has a sense of comfort when it comes to those moments. So we just have to continue to lean on her, and understand that, like me as a coach, I don't have the answers. So I lean on her a lot for a lot of things. And she comes through more often than not. And so we just have to keep on riding it until we get to our ultimate destination.
James, thank you.
Thanks.
To our media, stay with us. We'll be joined momentarily by Phoenix players Diana Taurasi, Brianna Turner, and Brittany Griner, who will be followed by Chicago players Kalia Copper, Candace Parker, and Allie Quigley. Brianna, Brittany, Diana, thank you. We're going to start right away. First question will come from the center, front row.
You guys wouldn't use this as an excuse, but a lot that's happened in the last, 40 hours. How big of a factor was that when they got going in the second quarter and then were able to pretty much keep control of the game in the second half?
I thought we started the game really well, focused with a lot of energy, and then I know they just took it to a different level. It had nothing to do with us being tired. I think if you've followed them for the last month, they're just playing at a different level, and that's what they did today for 40 minutes, and we didn't. So that was all them today.
Next question, front row to your left.
Alex Simon from the Next. Brittany, you guys have led after the first quarter of every playoff game you've played so far, but the second quarter seems like a lot of times you guys have given the lead away, and maybe no more so than today. What's kind of the difference when you get to the middle portions of the games right now for you guys, even after you're starting pretty well?
Just withstanding that run. We know that they're going to make runs. We've seen how Chicago's been playing. So, when that does happen, when we do end up giving up the lead, we have to really buckle down at that moment and get it back, or just play really good defense. And tonight it didn't really go that way, so credit to them. We'll check it out, see what's going on, and then make some adjustments.
All right, we're going to turn to Zoom for a moment with Nav Wilkes. Nav, you're up, and then we're going to return to the room for Michelle Vopel. Nav, go ahead.
My question is for Brittany Griner. Brittany, they threw a lot of different looks at you tonight. What was it about their defense that seemed to disrupt you on the offensive end?
Just went 5 with Vegas. They did something a little different. Each team has their own way of doing their defense, and got to see that look tonight. So, it wasn't nothing that I'd never seen before, honestly, but just ball didn't really roll the way I wanted it to roll, honestly.
Thank you.
Next question from the front row to the right, Michelle. Michelle, you're going to be followed by Danny Thompson.
Yeah, Michelle Vogel from ESPN.com. Diana, I know you're focused on this game, but you have had a pretty unbelievable last 48 hours, if you will. Can you share at all just some of the emotions you've gone through at, personally and at this point in your career with so many things going on?
Yeah, it's been a a pretty eventful last 2 days. So, I'm just really proud of this group. What we got done in Vegas was no easy feat. That was a very difficult game that we, found ourselves winning, and then obviously flying home and getting the best win ever. A healthy, daughter and a healthy wife. So, but all that aside, I'm just really focused on what's next. But we know we have to play better. We know we have to be better individually and collectively. And it's a really, really good team we're playing. So I think that's going to be our focus from here on out.
Danny Thompson, go ahead.
Ladies, Danny Thompson with the 3-point conversion. It seemed like in the early part of the first quarter and into the second quarter, it seemed like they started trapping with the double team effectively. What can you do as a team to prevent the double teams from trapping, for example, Diana in the corner or causing turnovers that were in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty pathetic with the basketball today. For playing so much basketball, I was pretty pathetic, and that's on me. We can't turn the ball over like that, especially not in the finals. That was just me being a bad basketball player. And we'll adjust some things, and hopefully we'll be in better positions to get out of those traps high on the court.
Next question will come
Diana,
from
Aileen Carrasco from Deportes Arizona. Quiero saber cómo te sientes. Un fin de semana muy emocionante para ti, yendo a las finales, la llegada de tu baby y ahora ser nombrada una de las mejores en la liga. ¿Cómo te sientes?
Y bueno, como dije antes, fue 2 días con mucho sentido, con mucho evento. Ganamos el partido en Las Vegas con este equipo que me encanta tanto, que tengo tanto amor. Y después directamente acá a Phoenix y tuvimos una nenita que está bien de salud, Penny también. Y este partido hoy que queríamos ganar, pero no salió la manera que queríamos ganar. Entonces, de ahora, estamos ahora en la casa unos cuantos días. La bebé viene a la casa y nosotros podemos prepararnos para este próximo partido que va a ser difícil, pero creo que tenemos que venir con diferente ánimo, diferente energía y ojalá que el partido número 2 el miércoles sea mejor para nosotras.
We'll do our best on the transcript with that one. Alex, we're going to go to...
I was going to say, Brittany, do you want to do the translation for that? Because it's
Said Phoenix, her baby, her penny. Is that a stone? I don't know.
Brianna, obviously second chance points that you guys have allowed have been kind of a point for you guys at various times throughout the year. And even tonight, 15 for Chicago, but also 48 points in the paint. What do their bigs, and especially the way they attack the offensive glass, present as a challenge to you guys?
We just have to make sure we're hitting them first. We know they're all really long, even their guards get in there too. So we have to make sure when the shot goes up, everyone's hitting somebody, and that we're able to collect the first rebound so they don't have those second chance opportunities.
Next question will come from Sean Schultz. Sean, go ahead.
Diana, I was just curious, what do you feel you have to do to rebound from this to next game? How do you get your team set as a leader?
Oh, we know we had to press reset. We know that wasn't our best effort tonight. And like I said, all the credit goes to Chicago. They put us in situations that we just didn't react well to. So, I think we all have to look in the mirror and come back and regroup. And that's what we've done all year. So I don't think anything's going to change, and we're going to come back and give a better effort. And hopefully game 2 can, turn out a different way. So this is what we've been doing all year. We've faced these little challenges all year, and we've stayed together and we've stayed the course. So like I said, Chicago was really, really good today. And they've been good for a while now.
All right, we have time for just 2 more questions. We're going to turn to Nick Hamilton. Nick, go ahead.
Good evening, lady. Good afternoon, ladies. What specifically, Coach Sandy said you guys really had to, just kind of reset, regroup. What are some of the positives that you could take out of this game today that you move forward on and add to?
I'm not a positive person, so you guys can answer that one.
We lost. We lost. So it's a series. That's what's positive. It's a series. We live to fight another day. So, I mean, that's what it is. That's it.
Hugh Hopkins, you will have the last question, and then we'll be joined by Chicago players. Hugh, go ahead.
Hi, ladies. Apologies to Brianna. This one's mainly for BG and DT. You guys obviously faced off, against the Chicago Sky in 2014. I think there's only 2 players remaining from that team, being Ali and Courtney. Is there? I mean, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but is there any sort of mental I guess, advantage that you have, knowing that you guys have faced them in the final before and beaten them?
Different team, different players. They still, like you said, they got Q, they got Salute still, but I mean, it's just different, honestly. You remember moments from that finals that helps you now, but it's just a different team.
Yeah, I think BG said it's 2 different units in a different time frame, playing a different way. You kind of can go back and rely on experience a little bit to make you a little bit more sure of things. So, we'll rely on our playoff experience. We've been in the trenches. It's gone our way, and sometimes it doesn't. So we're going to just keep gutting it out, and that's what this team has been all year, gutty. So we're going to be grimy and gutsy.
That's great. Thanks. Best of luck.
Thank you, guys. Cheers,
Brianna,
mate.
Thank you, Brianna, Brittany, Diana. Thank you. All right, everybody, we're going to begin with Kalia first. She will be joined by her teammates shortly. Kalia, we're going to begin with the first question to your right in the front row.
Hey, Kalia, Kareem Copeland from the Washington Post. Oops. You want me to go? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I wanted to ask a little bit about pregame. I was kind of watching your bounding up and down those kind of sidelines, really good energy. Just what was kind of going through your mind kind of coming into this first finals game, and just how did you want to approach it, and when did it kind of feel like, yeah, I'm getting going?
I think I just wanted to approach it level-headed, come in it with a really good sense of urgency. Treating it like a single elimination game is important for us because it keeps our sense of urgency really high. So I think that just goes for me too, just trying to stay aggressive, but at the same time, trying to make sure I'm making the right decisions.
Kalia, staying in the front row to your left.
Hey, Kyle. It seemed like you guys needed to settle in that first quarter, but once you did, you found the pace that you wanted to play at. Can you speak to what you guys were feeling in that first quarter that, resulted in you being a bit jittery?
I think everybody had first game, finals game, first game jitters, except for Candace, which is very important, which she plays a major key. She was that calmness for us. She was just telling us, even James, just telling everybody like, y'all just calm down. Like, we're fine. Like we're in a good place. Like we're going to be fine. And I think that was really important for her leadership, is for her to be that person for us.
Next question in the front row.
This Jeff Metcalf, Arizona Republic. This is the first time you played them this year when they didn't have Nurse and they also had Cunningham out. Did that make a difference, particularly for you, Kalia, playing out there in the wing?
You said, did it make a difference? Not really. I wasn't really focused on what they were missing. I was just focusing on what I can do for the team, for my team.
Next question in the center, second row.
Hey, Hannah Withian with Just Women Sports. Kai, you mentioned how you had to get out some jitters in the first quarter, and James said the same thing about the team. You had led the game with 10 rebounds on both sides. Is that something, just the energy you brought to the game, that helped you kind of find a rhythm?
I think I was just trying to be special, trying to contribute to the game in different ways. I can't just affect the game scoring, because I need to get my team extra possessions on the rebounding side of it, and just also playing good defense. So I think it's important for me to just bring all those aspects in order for us to win.
Next question in the center front row.
Hey, Kalia. You make that big three in the fourth quarter there. You go racing down the court to the timeout. What's going through your mind in that moment, just in terms of how you're playing and how the team just kind of took control from there?
I felt good. It was a big shot. And I don't know, I just felt good in that moment. It was a crucial shot and a big possession for us, so I felt good.
Next question, front row to your left.
Alex Simon from the Next. Candace, whenever you have a moment to get settled in. Alex Simon from the Next. When Steph was not playing as much in the Connecticut series, James just came in here and said that your time is coming. Your time is coming in the next series, especially with what the three of you between Azura, you and Steph were able to do against Griner defensively. How important is she to this series?
And I think it's that's what's special about our team. I think it's Steph knowing that and being ready. I think everybody during this postseason has had a moment, you know, or had a game where if we didn't have them at that moment, then we wouldn't win. And I think it's understanding that and being patient in that and knowing it. And that's what Steph's done. I was just so proud of the way defensively she was playing, but also like her aggressiveness and decisiveness offensively.
To your left in the front row.
For all of you, but maybe Allie specifically, given your history with Chicago, you guys just gave yourselves home court advantage with this game one win. What kind of confidence does that give you in terms of closing out this series?
Definitely a lot of confidence knowing that we have that, but honestly, our mind is so on the game, the next game here. We don't want to relax at all, and we really want to get to here.
Next question, second row to your right, and then we will turn to folks on Zoom. Go ahead.
James K, Chicago Tribune. Kalia or Ali, you can answer this one. You know, in the first quarter, Diana and Skylar were able to get it going a little bit, but in the second quarter, I think you held them to like 2 points. What were you able to do in that stretch where you could limit their offensive output?
It's big time help from the post. You know, playing team defense, you know, being there on the ball screens and the pin downs. And it's just us being stronger mentally and, you know, not fouling. They're big time, you know, free throw scorers. So we just got to limit our fouling against them and just always be there.
We're going to turn to folks on Zoom. We're going to start with Allison Moran. Allison, you'll be followed by Michelle Smith. Allison, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, guys, congratulations on the win, first of all. And Allie, I wanted to ask about the play that put you ahead. Can you describe that in the second quarter?
Was that the pick and roll with you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the play that put us ahead, honestly.
Okay.
Might have been.
Yeah, I think it was. Just describe that play.
Yeah, I think it was just a transition pick and roll. Candace really got out of the screen fast, and I was able to find her on the roll. I think it was the N1, right?
Yeah.
I had a second question as well for Candace, and that was, can you talk about Diana Taurasi and the relationship you have with her, and how it felt playing against her tonight in this final?
I mean, I think everybody within women's basketball is, you know, appreciated what she's done for the game. I remember being in the stands my senior year in high school, and she was leading UConn to a championship. And so I think, you know, all of us have played against her. She's a tremendous competitor, great shooter. And I had the honor of being her teammate at USA and again overseas in Ekaterinburg, Russia. So I think I know her high IQ. I know how hard she works. And I know she's ready for, you know, the moments. And so I think it's been fun to be her teammate, and it's been fun to compete against her, you know, all of these years.
Next question will be Michelle Smith. Michelle, you'll be followed by Chantel Jennings.
This is a question for Candace. Candace, both James and Kalia said you were the only one perhaps that came into this game without finals jitters. A, is that true? And B, what kind of responsibility do you feel like to bring that sense of calm to this team in this situation?
I remember my first finals game, and you know, it's an excitement. It really is. And I don't care how many you've been to, like, there's still the jitters you're gonna get. So that's not true. I think once you realize, like, you're gonna settle into the game eventually, it's just who can settle in early. And then once, you know, you kind of, your mind gets lost in it and you start playing basketball like you've played, you know, all your life. So I think that that's the big thing, and just keeping that calm. There's no reason to flip out. You know, they're a great team. They're here for a reason. And we had to, you know, settle into the game and get back to what we do.
Chantel Jennings, you're up. Chantel, you're going to be followed by Michelle here in the room. Chantel, go ahead.
Question for all three of you, but my first question is for Candace. Candace, I'm curious, when you look back at that 7-game win streak, sort of in the beginning-ish of the season for you specifically, because you'd been out, what did that tell you about the team at that point in the year, since it was preceded by a 7-game losing streak? Like during that stretch when you guys were winning, what did this team learn about itself?
I've always been confident, and that's why I'm here. Like, I've always been confident in what we're capable of. Potential is just that, though. Like, you got to realize it. And I think all of us understood during that 7-game winning streak what we're capable of, but we also realized, like, during the 7-game losing streak what we're capable of as well. So I think that prepared us. I mean, little did we know we would be in this situation and we would have to bounce back. And I think that that's the biggest thing during the playoffs, is bouncing back and, you know, fighting through adversity. And so I think, you know, we know our potential. We know how we can play and how we want to play. And we know our identity. And I think we developed that through the 7-game losing streak as well as the 7-game winning streak.
Next question. Next
Could I go
question.
for Ali and Ka?
Go ahead.
Well, Ali and Kalia, I was just curious, when the offense is functioning like this and you have 4 or 5, 6, at one point in the season, you had 7 double-digit scores, kind of basic, but like, how fun is it to play in this offense when it's producing like that?
It's fun. I think we're just out there moving the ball at any point. Anybody can out there can get a bucket. From us, everybody just being unselfish and just sharing the ball. Our offense is so great that at any moment, anybody can be able to score. So I think we appreciate the offense and we appreciate making the defense move. But yeah, sorry.
Next question, front row to your right.
Yeah, Michelle Vogel, ESPN.com. Candace, Lisa Leslie and Cynthia Cooper were in here as part of the W25. And one of the things they both said, Lisa said she thought this might be your greatest leadership job that she's seen. As somebody who came in, she was near the end of her career, obviously, when you were young. Was there anything in particular Lisa taught you about leadership that you still draw on now?
I think it's the biggest thing for me that I don't think I understood when I was younger was, like, you have to be the calm for the storm and you have to be the storm when everyone's calm. And I think, you know, that's tough because, you know, sometimes you want to go, you know, like, we're real hype. We won game 1. We're going to refocus, but we have leadership internally across the board. So it's not me. I think we all have different leadership qualities. Q, Sloot, Ka, like, we all have different ways that we lead. And so I think it's just been fun for me to, like, learn new people, learn from them and learn how I myself can get better. I know Smooth was one of those lead by examples, you know, and I was trying to learn. So I think it's, you know, I've had great teammates that have been great leaders and I've tried to take from all of them as well as, you know, my new teammates.
All right, we have time for 2 more questions from Zoom. We're going to start with Maggie Hendricks. Maggie, you will be followed by Hugh Hopkins.
Hi, ladies. Thank you. Just wondering if any of you would want to comment on all of the bench's contribution tonight. Stephanie, obviously, but you know, the minutes that everybody on the bench put in.
Yeah, we've talked about it in all of the playoffs that our bench is huge for us. That our bench is, you know, won games for us sometimes because those minutes are crucial. And like we talked about before, Steph came in and just made good decisions, made shots, and you know, even Diamond might have struggled a little offensively, but she's always there on defense and making it hard for the other team's best player. So I think it's huge for them to come in and do that.
Last question, Hugh Hopkins. Hugh, go ahead.
Congratulations, ladies, on the great win. My question is for Ali. Ali, you and Courtney, I think, are the only holdovers from the 2014 finals run. And I was just wondering, you know, was it intimidating coming into this, going against teams that, you know, essentially swept you out of the finals all those years ago? But also, how does it feel to get your first win against them in the finals?
Yeah, if anything, it was just exciting, just kind of memories from 2014. And we also kind of talked that we just are completely different players, teammates, everything. Kind of like we were babies then, not really experienced to the situation. So just felt good. Felt good going into the game, confident and just experienced and just, yeah, excited to get this first win.
Ali, Kalia, Candace, thank you very much. To our media, thank you. One final note, the Chicago players are off tomorrow, as are the Phoenix players. Thank you, everybody.